All right, so whatever I saw it on the field today, if that happens again, we will lose. We will lose, without a doubt. I don't even know where to begin. Again, another week, another Notre Dame win that looks like the worst win in the nation. You beat Toledo by 3 and a miracle stop, a miracle fumble. I don't even know what to say. If Toledo didn't have all those penalties, we probably would have lost, and we should have lost. Our second week in a row when we deserved to lose, but somehow won. You keep the home game winning streak alive, but that's the least of our worries right now. Cone, I really don't know what to say. I mean, they were mixing him and Tyler Buckner out here and there, and honestly, Tyler Buckner, I mean, he seems to get more yards for us, but you can't classify him as a quarterback right now just because of the fact that he can't pass the ball really, or he hasn't gotten a shot, I should say. So that shows that Brian Kelly does not think he is a capable passer at the moment. So they're gonna mix Cone and him in and out. But like, if we do this against Purdue, we will lose, and I'm not kidding. I do never take Notre Dame on the money line because we will lose it. We will lose every single time. That is a pro tip for you. Never take Notre Dame on the money line. Never. Just don't do it. Just don't touch it. Okay? I don't even know what to say. It seemed towards the end there when we were up like 24-16, we had the ball. Buckner was driving it down the field. Everything looked fine. And then my guy, Kyron Williams, guys, one of the most experienced veterans on the team, fumbles the ball, gives it back to Toledo. They drive right down and score. I mean, Toledo was the better team today. How could you go out there and not say that? Notre Dame just gets the worst possible win. It's like, yeah, okay, you won, so I can't put too much I can't talk too much trash about the team. But yet again, you literally did it. You literally won by a nose hair. So it's like, I'm not supposed to be happy, and I'm not happy. This was terrible. This was depressing and sad. It really was. This was depressing and sad. You almost lost to a mid-level MAC team, and I'm telling you guys, like, this closer than the Florida State game for sure. That game was closer than the Florida State game, and I'm starting to think that Florida State isn't a powerhouse and that we are just not that good. It's really starting to look that way. 2 straight wins by a field goal. Again, the defense is lackluster. They move up and down the field at will. The offense is inconsistent. Sometimes they look amazing. Sometimes they look pitiful. I mean, I don't know what to say. I really don't. Again, the Marcus Freeman defense came up clutch at times, and they looked terrible at times. The Notre Dame offense came up clutch at times, and they looked awful at times. I mean, I can give you the examples. When Jack Cohn drove down the field that last drive of the game, they came up clutch. When Jack Cohn threw a pick 6, that was not clutch. The defense, when they made that stop at the end of the game and forced that fumble, that was clutch. When you give up that massive run toward the end of the game to Toledo, that's not clutch. So it's like, what do you want me to do here? I really don't know. Pretty much every person and everything on the team was good and bad at some point. And that concoction mixed into a bowl turned out to be a 3-point win against Toledo. And I don't want to hear from the Notre Dame fans who are just like, I don't want to hear from the Notre Dame fans that just say, oh, but no, Toledo is like Shaka kind of teams that are in the Power 5, like Iowa State and stuff. Listen, this would have been their best win of all time, ever. They've only beaten a top 10 team once, ever. Ever. 2003 Pitt. Pitt. You want to be in the same boat with Pitt, Notre Dame? No. And that's a team that could shock us later in the season, too. I mean, you look at the schedule now for Notre Dame. If you beat Toledo and Florida State by 3, you're not winning many games. I mean, like, this team will be outside of my top 15, for sure. I don't understand anyone who can look at Notre Dame, look at them, see the product out there on the field. They still have questions. Who's going to be the starter? Is Marcus Freeman the real deal? Like, there are so many questions. Are we going to be a pass-heavy or run-heavy offense? Like, we don't know. And I don't get how you could look at them and put them in the top 10. You just can't. They are a mid-tier, top 25 team. They win the games. They don't look good. They don't look impressive. And I think the goal of this Notre Dame team is to give Jake Sullivan a stroke. I think that is the goal. That is the overall goal with this team now. Give any Notre Dame fan who thinks this win will be easy, try to make this game as close as possible and give them a stroke. Because that's what you're doing. That's literally what you're doing. So, I know I didn't talk about much of the technical aspects of this game. Again, there were a few tackles that we missed, that we should have gotten, especially past the line of scrimmage, that should have been sacks. And it's disappointing. I know the players obviously get hyped for a win, but like, even the coaches and everyone were getting so excited when we were barely beating Toledo. I don't know about you, but I wasn't jumping up and down on my desk. I was not doing that. I stood there like this and kept watching, because you shouldn't be excited about that. That should be expected out of Notre Dame if you're a top 10 team. I mean, I've talked about this on my channel for like 2 years now. Go back all the way to the unlisted videos where I didn't even show my face. I said Notre Dame wins the close games, and they always win by a very close margin, no matter who it is. No matter who it is. It could be Toledo, it could be Clemson, it could be whoever. Unless we're talking postseason, then yikes. I don't want to get into that topic. That's a while from here, and we may not make it if we keep playing like this. But go back to my videos. I talk about those games. I don't know if I talked about the Ball State game on there. That was back when we made the playoffs that one season. 24-16 final. I remember the score. Remember when we beat Vandy by 5? Vandy, who not the same Vandy team, but Vanderbilt, who lost to East Tennessee. Like, do you need me to go on? Notre Dame wins by as little as possible, no matter what the team. And you look at the schedule here, I mean, we got Purdue, I think, and we got Wisconsin coming up. I think Wisconsin's a very winnable game for us. But they got a ground and pound rushing attack, and we're not good against the run, and they got a great defense, and that could cause Notre Dame some trouble. Then you look at Cincinnati. I'm going to be honest, guys. Cincinnati, if I had to predict that game, I got Cincy by 20. I mean, there's no way you can tell me that we are beating Cincinnati when we can barely beat Toledo. No. I refuse to believe it. And then, Then we got Virginia Tech on the road after that. Yeah, have fun with that, Notre Dame. Virginia Tech on the road. Virginia Tech looks really good as well. That's another team that we did not expect to be good, that is. And if Notre Dame keeps burying its head in the sand every time they got a college football game, we're going to be losing those games. So, I'm Jake the Sports signing off. Notre Dame should have lost. Somehow they didn't. And they gave me a heart attack against Toledo. I'm out. I'm not even... I'll maybe make a video later going over all the games today. But I can't do it right now because my voice is shattered from screaming at the television and getting mad about Notre Dame winning by a field goal against Toledo in a miracle win at home. See you guys later. Peace.